Good afternoon, guys. As someone who posts quite a lot of videos about G-Shock watches, one thing has become abundantly clear over the past few months, and that is this watch, the G-Shock G9300 Mudman, has a devoted following like no other. Everyone who comments about this watch is doing so in a positive light. They have nothing but good things to say about it. I've owned this watch for over a decade, and my experience with it is testament to the fact that it's a true, loyal, trusty companion, a bit like an old loyal dog. I've had to replace 0 components. I've had to go to the shop to get it fixed 0 times. I've had 0 issues with the functions. I've had 0 instances where I wish I was wearing a different watch. That to me is the mark of quality, of genuine integrity, fantastic engineering, and that is why I love G-Shock. I would like to spend a bit of time showing you some ultra up close, high quality photographs of this watch at all angles to show you how it's weathered over the time. Now let's take a look at some of the battle scars on my Mudman. Okay guys, so let's get into it. What I've done here is taken some highly detailed photographs close up of the Mudman to show you the kind of damage that it has accumulated, if you want to call it damage that is, over the last decade. Now I'm able to zoom in and show you, for example, across the bezel, there's definitely some very light scratching. On a day-to-day basis, you wouldn't notice that unless you were looking close. But yes, that is there. And that is essentially because the bezel is made from a kind of rubbery resin, which inevitably, over 10 years, will get enough knocks to impact it to some degree. But I think overall, it's pretty minimal. You will also see that the H in search looks white, whereas the rest is not. Now, what I'm needing to do is work out whether or not it was all originally white, same with where it says light here, or if something white has actually got in there and it makes it look like it was painted inside the wording, like it is red inside this compass button, the COMP. Now, I suspect, looking at the watch closer, that the white has actually got in there and is not part of the original finish. But I will look into that and confirm it shortly. On to the next picture, you can see some grazing here across the sensor housing. This is a twin sensor watch. It has both the compass and it has the temperature gauge. Again, around the bezel, you'll see the edge isn't as sharp as it should be because of very light damage, but again, I would call that absolutely minimal wear and tear considering the age of the watch and what it's been through. This photograph I like because it just showed very clearly the planes down here of the bezel and the strap are absolutely flush. There's no sign of misalignment. There's no issue with where the screws are going into their housing. All absolutely fine, no rusting. Again, a success story in that respect. Now onto this side image where the sensor sits. You can see all the paint where it says twin sensor there in red is absolutely perfect. You can see the way that the rubber area on the back of the watch is lying still flat with the rest of the housing. You can see again no rust around those screws. A really beautiful image here showing that the buttons are perfect in terms of these these pyramid undulations on them. One thing I would say about the Mudman is that the buttons are pretty robust and therefore are not necessarily the easiest to select. I'm actually pressing it now. It's best to have a little bit of extra nail on your fingers to be able to feel into the center of it and press the right amount of pressure. These rubber mountings on all 4 buttons basically keep any mud and sand out of the actual gaskets of the buttons. This means that you're not going to get them clogged up, you're not going to get them malfunctioning when you're in an environment where it's wet and muddy, basically. I mean, the name of the watch is the Mudman. It says it on the tin. That's what it's designed for. If you buy it, you are obviously not on the understanding that it's designed for a harsh environment where it's muddy. Therefore, the buttons are not going to be quite as easy to press as, for example, the Rangeman. However, these buttons are extra robust and resilient. On to the next picture. This was just another nice angle which shows that the bezel on the right-hand side, not the sensor side, but the opposite side where you press the compass button here, is just in really good condition. I completely acknowledge the fact that there's some discoloration here around the light button, but the reason why that is simply because I have put so much suntan lotion on this watch around my, when I've been covering my arms and things like that, that it's just aggregated over time and has given it that look. And I can say with full confidence that a little bit of a cleanup, a 10-minute bath in some hot water and a toothbrush would bring that out immediately. As I said, I'm not looking to sugarcoat this. I don't want to make this all perfect before I do it. I want you to see the reality of how these watches look after 10 years of hard wear. On to the next photograph. Yeah, I really like this photograph because it shows the stark contrast of what is essentially the 2 biggest areas of scratching on the bezel. Right in the center of the screen there and a little bit down to the bottom right. I would say that's where it's taken the most damage in inverted commas, and I just wanted to show that. The rest of the bezel isn't showing anything like that, so that is pretty much the extent of the damage that it has. Starting to look at the strap, you'll see the wording here in terms of protection and tough solar are both absolutely fine. Protection, interestingly enough, is actually ingrained into the strap. It's written into it. In fact, I correct myself, it's not written into the strap, it's written into the housing that sits around the bezel. The strap starts at the line below protection. Tough solar is on the strap, and tough solar is not ingrained on the strap. It is let's call it a printed sticker onto it. Now, what's pretty remarkable here is that the fact that that has been added after the strap's been manufactured, and it is 100% perfect, no issues, nothing coming off, no letters missing. I don't know how they've done that, but it hasn't been affected at all. Another angle on the strap there, I think you can see there's no sign of perishing, there's no sign of weakness. To the touch, it's still really flexible, really soft, and really comfortable. Okay, just one more view on that scratching there on the bezel, tiny bit on the bottom there as well, above the resist. Okay, so the one other area where there's some what might call damage is here. Tiny little chip out of the strap on the side with the holes. So I'm not sure how that's happened. It's virtually unnoticeable. I hadn't noticed it until I did this exercise. So clearly it's not a big deal, but I wanted to cover it. As you can see, the rest of the strap looks great. Back of the watch, you can see a bit of discoloration where there's been some what you'd call oxidation, I guess, around the metal components on the back. Again, that just needs a little bit of a clean. What I should do is unscrew these 4 screws, take off that section, get some Brasso across it, and it will be good as new. I just haven't had the time to do that, or the inclination. I might do it sometime soon. Of course, it's got this fantastic icon on the back, that logo of the mole with the drill and the compass. I love it. Okay, a close-up on the buckle. Some tiny sliver type scratches there. No major chips or definitely no issues with the actual function of the buckle here. It's as strong as it has been. And as I've said already, I've had to change 0 components of this watch in its lifetime. A slightly different lighting and with the buckle flicked up, again, no problems. One more nice image of the light at a slightly different angle, showing that scratch across the sensor housing. And again. I mean, if you look at the watch from this angle, it could almost be brand new, where it says twin sensor mud resist G-Shock. I mean, yes, I think that's a small ding above the O in G-Shock, but it really does look fantastic still. I tried to get a few different light conditions across here so you can see you've also got the little scratch where it says search there. But as you see, when you scroll back out, it's really not that noticeable. And personally, I love this stuff. I love a weather-beaten watch like this. Shows it's being used for what it's designed for. Same again. Couple of different angles. And then onto that beautiful shot in the sun. The reason why I put this in here is because it shows, yes, when you look really close with a very fine camera, with a very powerful lens, yes, you can see the problems. However, this is the reality of what you see on a daily basis. It is superb. There's no issues with it. Try and find that scratch that we were looking at before across the bezel. Where's the scratch on the sensor? You have to really look hard to notice it. My point being, this is a 10-year-old watch. I've shown you every inch of it now. There's nothing wrong with it. It's tough solar. You're not going to have to replace the battery. I have never had to replace the battery in 10 years of ownership. It's shown no changes in its capacity to charge. The other day you saw, I charged it outside and it went to high. Works perfectly fine in that respect. On Amazon today, you can buy it for $160. Now, if you're into G-Shocks, particularly tough solar ones, and you like compasses, I find it hard to see how this doesn't come up as an option if you don't already own one. Guys, I hope you like my photo essay there. If you like this and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. It sincerely means a lot. And have a fantastic day.